Page 4. I go for refuge until enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations through the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations through the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations through the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Sangye joda soge jonam la chanju badu dani gyapsuch Nage jinso gebe sonam ki dola penje sangye drubara isho Sangye joda soge jonam chanju badu dani gyapsuch Nage jinso gebe sonam dola penje sangye drubara isho Sangye joda soge jonam Chanju bardo dani gyapsu che, dagi jin so gebe soman, kola benje sanje drubaranjo. The next page. Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam, hetum te sham dathagato yavatat, Esham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaye svaha Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum te sham dathagato yavatat Desham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashamanaye svaha Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum desham dathagato yavatat Desham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashamanaye svaha. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation causes is what is taught by the great seer. Okay, let us turn to page 104, in praise of dependent origination. We will read this. We will read this and to prepare us for the ongoing classes in praise of them. And then just see how much you can understand it. If you don't understand the first 32 verses will be a little complicated, a little technical, and then thereafter the remaining 20 over verses will be way easier. So that is easy. The first one, a little technical require more explanation. In praise of dependent origination by Lama Tsongkhapa. He who speaks on the basis of seeing, this makes him a knower and teacher unexcelled. I vow to you, O Conqueror, you who saw dependent origination and taught it. Whatever degenerations there are in the world, the root of all these is ignorance. You taught that it is dependent origination, the seeing of which belong to this ignorance. So how can an intelligent person not comprehend that this part of dependent origination is the essential part of your teaching? This being so, who will find you, O Savior, a more wonderful way to praise you than to praise you for having taught this origination through dependence? Whatsoever depends on the condition that is devoid of intrinsic existence, what excellent instruction can there be more amazing than this proclamation? By grasping at it, the child is striking bondage to extreme views. For the wise, this very fact is the doorway to cut free from the net of elaborations. Since this teaching is not seen elsewhere, you alone are the teacher. Like calling a fox a lion, or for a Tirthika, it would be a word of flattery. Wondrous teacher, wondrous refuge, wondrous speaker, wondrous savior, I pay homage to that teacher who taught well dependent origination. To help heal sentient beings, O benefactor, you have taught the peerless reason to ascertain emptiness, the heart of the teaching. This way of dependent origination, those who perceive it as contradictory or as unestablished, how can they comprehend your system? For you, when one sees emptiness in terms of the meaning of dependent origination, then being devoid of intrinsic existence and possessing valid functions do not contradict. Whereas when one sees the opposite, since there can be no function in emptiness, no emptiness in what has functions, one falls into a dreadful abyss you maintain. Therefore, in your teaching, seeing dependent origination is hailed, that too not as an utter non-existence, nor as an intrinsic existence. The non-contingent is like a sky flower, as there is nothing that is not dependent. If things exist through their essence, their dependence on causes and conditions for the existence is contradiction. Therefore, since no phenomena exists other than origination through dependence, no phenomena exists other than being devoid of intrinsic existence, you taught. Because intrinsic nature cannot be negated, if phenomena did possess some intrinsic nature, nirvana would become impossible and elaborations could not be ceased, you taught. Therefore, who could challenge you, you who proclaim with lions roar in the assembly of the learned ones repeatedly that everything is utterly free of intrinsic nature, and there is no intrinsic existence at all, and that all functions as this arising in dependence on that, what need is there to say that they do converge without conflict? It is through the reason of dependent origination that one does not lean towards the extreme, that the Savior have declared this accidentally, the source of all your unexcelled speech. Well, devoid of essence, and from this arises that effect. These two certainties complement each other with no contradiction at all. What is more amazing than this, what is more marvelous than that? If one praises you in this manner, this is real praise, otherwise not. Being enslaved by ignorance, those who fiercely oppose you, what is so strange about they being unable to bear the sound of no intrinsic existence? But having accepted dependent origination, the precious treasure of your speech, then not tolerating the roar of emptiness, this I find amazing indeed. The door that leads to no intrinsic existence, this unexcelled door of dependent origination, through his name alone, if one grasps intrinsic existence, now this person who lacks the unrivaled entrance, well travelled by the noble ones, by what means should one guide him to the excellent path that pleases you? Intrinsic nature, uncreated and non-contingent, dependent origination, contingent and created, converge upon a single basis without contradiction. Therefore, whatever originates dependently, though primordially free of intrinsic existence, appears as if it does possess intrinsic existence. So you taught all this to be illusion-like. Through this very fact, I understand well a statement that, in what you have taught, those opponents who challenge you cannot find faults that accord with reason. Why is this so? Because by declaring these, chances for reification and denigration towards things seen and unseen are made most remote. Through this very path of dependent origination, the rationale for your speech being peerless, conviction arises in me also that the other words are valid too. You who speak accidentally by seeing as it is, for those who train in your footsteps, all degenerations will become remote, for the root of all faults will be undone. But those who turn away from your teaching, though they may struggle with hardship for a long time, faults increase ever more as if being called forth, for they make firm the view of self. When the wise comprehend the differences between these two, why would they not at that point revere you from the depths of their being? That alone your numerous teachings, many of a small part, those who find their ascertainment in a cursory way, this brings supreme bliss to them as well. Alas, my mind was defeated by ignorance, though I have sought refuge for a long time in such an embodiment of excellence, I possess not a fraction of his qualities. Nonetheless, before the stream of this life flowing towards death has come to cease, that I've found slight faith in you, even this I think is fortunate. Among teachers, the teacher of dependent origination, among wisdom, the knowledge of dependent origination, you who are most excellent, like the kings of the world, know this perfectly well, not others. All that you have taught proceeds by way of dependent origination. That too is done for the sake of nirvana. You have no deeds that do not bring peace. How amazing your teaching is such, in whomsoever years it falls, they all attain peace. So who would not be honored to uphold your teaching? It overcomes all opposing challenges. It is free from contradictions between the early and the latter parts. It grants fulfillment of being's two aims. For this system my joy increases evermore. For its sake you have given away again and again over countless eons, sometimes your body, other times your life, as well as your loving kin and resources of wealth. Seeing the qualities of this teaching fills hard in your heart, just like what a hook does to a fish. Sad it is not to have heard it from you. The intensity of that sorrow does not let go of my mind, just like the mind of a mother constantly goes after her dear child. Here too, as I reflect on your words, I think, blazing with the glory of noble marks and hallowed in the net of light rays, this teacher, in a voice of pristine melody, spoke thus in such a way. The instant such a reflection of the sage's form appears in my mind, it soothes me just as fever is pain. This excellent system, most marvelous, some individuals who are not so learned have entangled it in utter confusion, just like an entangled bamboo grass. Seeing this situation, I strove with a multitude of efforts to follow after the learned ones, and sought with intention again and again, at such times as I studied the numerous works of both our own middle way and other schools. My mind became tormented evermore, constantly by network of doubts. The night lady grove of Nagarjuna's treatises, Nagarjuna whom you have prophesied, would unravel your shedding extremes of existence and non-existence, illuminated by the garland of the white lights of Chandra's well-uttered insights. Chandra, whose stained wisdom orb is full, who glides freely across scripture's space, who dispels the darkness of extremist hearts and outshines the constellations of all speakers. When through my teacher's kindness I saw this, my mind found rest at last. Of all your deeds, your speech is supreme. Within that too, it is this very speech. So the wise should remember the Buddha through this teaching of dependent origination. Following such a teacher, and having become a renunciate, having studied the conqueror's verse not too poorly, this monk who strives in the yogic practices, such is the depth of his reverence to the great seer. Since it is true to my I met with the teaching of the unexcelled teacher, I dedicate this virtue too towards the cause, for all beings to be sustained by the sublime spiritual mentors. May the teachings of the beneficent one till the world's end be unshaken by the winds of evil thoughts. May it always be met by innumerable beings who find conviction in the teacher by understanding the teaching's true nature. May I never ever falter, even for an instant, to uphold the excellent way of the sage, which illuminates the principle of dependent origination through all my births, even giving away my body and life. I spend day and night carefully reflecting on what means can I enhance this teaching, achieved by the Supreme Savior, to restrain his efforts over countless eons. As I strive in this with pure intention, may Brahma, Indra, and the world's guardians and protectors such as the Mahakala assist me. Okay, continuation from where we left this morning. Where did we leave?
Verse 5.
Verse 5. Okay, we read up to verse number 5. Okay, so it's the emptiness and what we also said is that the emptiness and dependent origination, these are the two sides of the same coin. And we also learned about how emptiness equals dependent origination, how dependent origination equals the middle way, and therefore emptiness equals the middle way. That's what we learned. And there's one sutra known as the Sutra on Dependent Origination, which is what you find in this book. As I said earlier, this is a compilation of many important short texts. So here you find the two treatises or two sutras, Sutra on Dependent Origination. And in this sutra, what it said is that whoever sees dependent origination will see the Dharma, and whoever sees the Dharma will see the Buddha. Let me repeat it. Whoever sees dependent origination will see the Dharma, and whoever sees the Dharma will see the Buddha. This is one statement made. And the other statement made is that because this exists, that exists, because this is produced, that is produced, because of ignorance, karmas are created, because of which the consciousness is created, because of which name and form is created, because of which the sense sources, the contact, the feeling, then the attachment, grasping, becoming, the birth, aging and death is created. And because the ignorance ceases, then the reverse. Ignorance ceases, the karma cease, because of which ignorance, the consciousness ceases, because name and form, sense sources, contact, feeling, the attachment, grasping, becoming, birth, and the aging and death ceases. So there we see that there are the two important statements made. The first one is that whoever sees dependent origination will see the Dharma, and whoever sees the Dharma will see the Buddha. This is one statement. A second statement has it that because this exists, that exists. Because this is produced, that is produced. Because of ignorance, then the 12 links are indicated, they come into being. When the ignorance ceases, then the 12 links cease. Okay, two statements made by the Buddha. And the first one, whoever sees dependent origination will see the Dharma, whoever sees the Dharma will see the Buddha. So this is known as the Sutra of Dependent Origination, where one morning the Buddha was passing by a rice field. So this sutra is also known as the Rice Seedling Sutra, Saristamba Sutra, Rice Seedling Sutra. Because this teaching was given by the Buddha, the Buddha, at the time the Buddha passed by the rice field, and Buddha stopped there and pointed to the rice sprouts or rice seedlings. Buddha pointed to the rice seedlings and then told the monks, whoever sees dependent origination will see the Dharma, whoever sees the Dharma will see the Buddha. Okay, so here, when the Buddha taught, whoever sees dependent origination. Here, on the dependent origination, what do you mean by dependent origination? It has three layers of understanding. In dependent origination, there are 3 layers of understanding. The first one is dependent origination of the results dependence on causes. Number 1. Dependent origination of the results dependence on causes. The first one. The second one, dependent origination of wholes dependence on parts. The first one, dependent origination of the results dependence on the causes. Number 2, the dependent origination of the wholes dependence on parts. Then number 3, dependent origination of dependence on mere mental designation. Mere mental designation or mere mental imputation. Designation/imputation. Same. The first one, dependent origination of the results dependence on the causes. Number 1. Number 2, dependent origination of the wholes depends on parts. The wholes depends on parts. Number 3, dependent origination of dependence on mere mental designation Slash meaning option. Mental designation slash imputation. Okay, these are three levels of dependent origination. We need to know all these three. Shall I repeat?
Yes.
First one, the dependent origination of results dependence on causes. Number one. Results dependence on causes. Number two, dependent origination of wholes dependence on parts. Dependent origination of the wholes dependence on parts. And then finally, dependent origination dependence on mere mental designation. Mere mental designation slash imputation. Mental designation slash imputation. Okay, now let me go through all of them one by one. The first one, okay. Say, this flower is a result or not result? Is a result of the previous causes. So this flower fulfills the first level of dependent origination, that it is dependent originated by dependence on its earlier causes. Number one. Okay. Number two. What's number two? Michael, what's the number two dependent origination? Dependent origination of the whole's dependence on the parts. So this flower is a whole. This flower is a whole, like this hall, this room, or this prayer hall is a whole, which is made of multiple parts. Likewise, this flower is a whole made of multiple parts, like the petals. Then what? Petals, Stamen, then stigma, then leaves. Okay, so it is made of multiple parts. So this flower also fulfills the second level of dependent origination. You agree? It fulfills the first level of dependent origination. It fulfills the second level of dependent origination. Now what is the third one? Dependent origination of dependence on mere mental designation or mere mental imputation. Well, in the first place, what does it mean by mental designation, mental imputation? Let's say that let's say say traffic rule, driving on the right lane and left lane, which is correct? Okay, in Israel, which is correct? Tamar? Right is correct. Right. And pay attention then, in America? Are you sure?
No, the right. The right.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay, look, when I say are you sure more, then she becomes shaky. Okay, Gabor. Right. Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, here. Joel?
Right.
Okay, right. So seems that most of you are on the right.
Left.
Left. Okay, Lisa?
Right.
Right. Carl? Left. Okay, we see that Carl, where? England.
Yes.
Okay, England road stops you when you drive on the right lane.
The road will stop you? No, the road will not stop you, right? Okay, then what decides whether you're in the correct lane or the wrong lane? What decides? The road will not decide.
Convention.
Huh? Conventions decide. What is convention? What is convention?
An agreement.
Agreement of the people. The people and people have the body and the mind, which agrees. The mind agrees. Okay. So this is the convention, meaning is the mind. So the mind says designation. The mind designates. The mind decides that okay. So let's say that usually I'm very sure that I don't know about all the countries, but the first country who created the lane rule, the traffic rule, I'm sure that how that rule came into existence was that first the one car came in the country. Yes. Which year? Anyone?
1903.
1903. Anyone else?
1890.
It was the end of the 1890, like this. Yeah. So in some countries, maybe 1902, 1905, so around that time. So first, one car came to the country. They have any traffic rule? No traffic. It's fun. To see the car is a fun. Everybody will come to see the car, right? So no rules. Wherever you drive is fine. Everybody will welcome you. Then 2 cars came. Then 50 cars came. 100 cars came. Then gradually, these cars are meant for what? For the ease of the people's life. For example, like ambulance. Good for the sick people so that they can get the treatment faster. What happens is that the car, there's no rules there. You can drive wherever you like. And gradually, the cars that get stuck. Sometimes even 3 cars that get stuck, they don't move, right? One said, then I'll not move. Other says, I'll not move, right? They get stuck. And this, all 3 suffer. This is how it happens. So then in some of these cars, they have the ambulance, sick people. In some, there are VIP people there. So they get stuck there. So the matter is reported to the government, right? That is reported to the government that this is happening very frequently now. What should we do? And the government calls the think tankers, the people in the think tank, right? Okay, now you have to do something. They call the experts. You have to do something. Yes, we have to do something. We have to create a rule. So that rule is created by the mind. They come together, as you said, agreed upon by the experts to make sure that there's at least casualty there, and it's not perfect, but it would have the greatest of the ease with the least of the complications, so that they adopt it according to what they think. And it may not be perfect. And later on, maybe developed even better, because you see the loopholes there. So this is how the traffic rules came into being. So these rules, they finally, this is what we call conventions. And then some countries say let's drive from the left, and then America would say that let's do the opposite. Because we don't like Britishers. Let's do the opposite, right? Switch on off, press down is on. America said, no, let's press up. Well, let's just do the opposite, right? So this is how the conventions are created. So convention has a connotation of mental thinking. Mentally saying something, and it works like that. So mental designation, mental imputation. You getting it? Mental designation, mental imputation. Okay, let me ask one thing. How many of you have seen the Mona Lisa painting? Actual Mona Lisa painting. Actual. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. How big is the size? Small. Okay. So let's say that you have seen the Mona Lisa painting. Are you sure? Okay. How many of you have not seen? Or how many of you have at least seen the replicas of the Mona Lisa painting? Picture of the Mona Lisa painting. Raise hands? Like myself. Okay, which means all of us seen the Mona Lisa painting somewhere or other, indirect, whatever, we have seen that. How many have not seen at all? What is Mona Lisa painting? I don't know. Reasons? Okay, no one. Good. So, Mona Lisa painting. Do you agree with me that Mona Lisa painting is nothing but is made of, is made of the what?
Yes.
Is made of the atoms in the paints. You agree? Atoms in the paints. Okay. If you go on the atomic level, you see the bunch of atoms. There's no Mona Lisa painting. You getting it? It's just random the atoms put here and there. That's it. There's no Mona Lisa painting. So what you saw as a Mona Lisa painting, where is it? Right? You go, when you point to the canvas, you see that it's just a bunch of atoms. There's no Mona Lisa painting there. But you said that you have seen the Mona Lisa painting. Where is that? Anyone? In your mind?
No, Paris.
Huh?
In France.
In France? Meaning?
Paris.
Oh, yeah, in Paris. yes. It's in Paris. So that's true. Yes. So when you are in Dharamsala, whereas Tushita, don't say it's in India. Right? We already know this in India. So my question is that you are right next to the Mona Lisa painting. My question is that it's just a bunch of atoms of the paints. So when you say where is the painting, you point to the canvas here. So where you point it to, you just see a bunch of atoms. And where is the painting? This is my question. Anyone? Yes. Are you sure? Okay, don't worry. Whatever answer that you give is fine. Anyone else? Where's the painting?
Or in the dream. Either in the dream or in the mind.
Where's the painting? Anyone? So she said it is in your mind. Anyone else? Where's the painting? Huh? On the canvas. On the canvas is just a bunch of atoms. There's no painting there. Huh? Okay, go further. Right? Don't go too close to the painting. Right? Don't go too close to the painting. So which means don't put a finger too close to the painting. Painting's on the canvas. Don't say that. It's somewhere there. Right? Okay. It's not in the canvas? It's not on the canvas? Is it on the canvas or not? On the canvas. So you go too close, right? Then you should be seeing that. But you don't see, you just see a bunch of atoms. Where's the painting? This is my question. Yes?
In the convention.
Convention is the mind, in your mind. So mind on the canvas, but don't go too close to the canvas, keep a distance. Right? This girl is saying. Which means it's not on the canvas. At a distance it is there. Not on the canvas.
It is on the canvas. We don't see atoms. We see the painting now as a painting. Atoms we don't see. Maybe through the microphone. No.
It is on the canvas, so atoms.
Where eyes, we see the painting. We don't see the atoms.
Okay, with the eyes. Oh no, don't worry. Replace the eyes with your electron microscope. Then what do you see? You see atoms, right? So the whose perception is correct? With the electron microscope, what you see is correct, or with the naked eyes, what you see is correct? Both are correct. Are you sure? Say let's say that this is a flower, and I say this is the say what is this? What is this? Hey, what is this? Flower, right? If I say that this is not a flower, you're crazy. This is not a flower, right? Both cannot be correct. You agree with me or not? If you say If somebody says this is a flower and the other person says this is not a flower, you're crazy, this is not a flower, then both cannot be correct. Yes, no. Hey, yes, no. Huh? Yes, no. You are in Tushita or not? This is not Tushita. This is correct or not correct? Which is correct? Both cannot be correct.
In which reality?
You agree with me or not? Say somebody says that we are in Tushita. And somebody says, no, we are not in Tushita. Right? Both cannot be correct. Oscar? Both?
Depend on your perspective.
Depending on your perspective.
Depending on the perspective. Right? Okay, let's say he is Oscar. I said, no, he's not Oscar. Right? Both are correct?
Who I am for the other one. Who I am for the other person. Example.
No, you're Oscar. No, you yes or no? Are you sure?
Absolutely.
You're Oscar, right? Somebody says you're not Oscar. Correct, not correct? Okay. So both cannot be correct simultaneously. Saying that you are Oscar, you are not Oscar, both can be correct. If at all something is correct, one can be correct, not both. You agree? You agree? Good. This is a flower. Oscar says this is a flower. Oscar, what is this?
It's a flower.
Okay. So look, listening to Oscar is very healing. Yes, listening to Oscar is very healing. If there's, this girl is a little tense, I can see. You have to listen to Oscar. And he'll cool down. He'll cool it down. You're getting it? Oscar is very healing. Thank you. Okay. That's it. Oh, okay, Oscar, what is this? Flower. Okay. Somebody says, this is not flower. So both cannot be correct, right? Both cannot be correct simultaneously. Yes? Okay. Okay. So, therefore, let's say that is a Mona Lisa painting. And the other person said, no, this is not a Mona Lisa painting, just a bunch of atoms. This is not a Mona Lisa painting. Both cannot be correct. Some say this is Mona Lisa painting. Others say this is not Mona Lisa painting. Both cannot be correct simultaneously. Oscar, yes? Okay, Oscar is thinking. Anyone else? Huh?
Why can they not be? I mean, other than saying, this is.
What is your name? What's your name?
Giselle.
Huh?
Giselle.
Giselle.
Giselle. Are you Giselle or not?
I am Giselle.
Okay. Okay, you are Giselle. So Oscar says you are not Giselle. Both cannot be correct.
Well, he could call
You agree or not?
Yes, I agree.
You agree? You agree, right?
Many things I just don't understand why it has to be. It's a yes or a no.
No, that the reality. Let's be very realistic. Let's be very realistic. Let's say that you go to say, okay, I'm going to Tushita for a retreat. Which country you're from? Canada. You buy a ticket. You go to the airport, aeroplane, and the air hostess says that you are not Giselle, right? You don't have a seat. I have a seat. Both cannot be correct simultaneously, right? Oh, you both are correct. You said I have no seat. I have a seat. Both are correct. You cannot say that. You agree? We should be very realistic. You said yes. Don't change your mind. Okay. So the point is that if you say that the same object is A as well as non-A, this is crazy. You're getting it? Same object is Mona Lisa painting and is not Mona Lisa painting. It is not Mona Lisa painting and it is Mona Lisa. This is crazy. The two cannot be, both cannot be correct at the same time. How to resolve this problem? Anyone? Yes.
Ultimate reality and conventional reality. So,
What do you mean by that?
like, conventional reality is a Mona Lisa because we agree it's a Mona Lisa. But ultimate reality is a bunch of atoms and things like.
Okay. In a way, good one, and then our Oscar is saying something. Oscar said perspective, right? Oscar said perspective. It depends on the perspective.
I would say perspective.
Okay, so what Oscar said is, it depends on the perspective. And what Joel said is that the conventional and the ultimate, right? So many of us, what Oscar said, many of us will agree. Agree meaning that, oh, it makes sense, right? Perspective, I know there are different perspectives. And then the ultimate and conventional, right? So there's many of you may feel lost. That, well, I've never heard about it. What is this? Perspective, yes. It depends on perspective. Say, how good is this flower? Oh, it depends on perspective. How good is this, the table? Perspective. How good is the house? Perspective. It depends on perspective. So, we see that how to resolve this problem. This flower, this is not a flower, but if you consider the perspective, meaning that if you consider a single frame of reference, with a single frame of reference, object cannot be flower as well as non-flower. You getting it? But with two different frames of reference, the same object can be flower as well as non-flower, with two different perspectives. Technically referred to as with two different frames of reference. For example, Albert Einstein talks about he rejects the absolute reality. He talks about relativity theory of relativity, special theory of relativity, general theory of relativity, meaning that things exist with respect to a frame of reference. If the frame of reference is one, for example, let's say that how far is Delhi, right? They say Dharamsala as the frame of reference is quite far away. Chandigarh as the frame of reference is very near. Delhi is very near. So that with two different frames of reference, the same object can be described differently and both are correct. But with the one frame of reference, then you describe the same object in two opposite ways, cannot be correct. Say, in the eyes, as what Joel said, in our ordinary eyes, you look at it, we see that the human eyes. You look at it, we see it as a flower, you say that this is chocolate. For sure, people say that those who see this as chocolate is crazy. You getting it? Whereas somebody like a cow or you see this, and human beings look at it, this is for decoration. Cows do it, this is food. Right? Human beings who see it as food is crazy. So therefore, the frame of reference is different. Whereas for the human beings, we see that there's the frame of reference. Now, within the same human being, again, they can be, with different objects. They can be different frames of reference. Therefore, the object can be seen differently. You're getting it? So now, when we see that the same Mona Lisa, okay, let's say this flower. You look at with your naked eyes, how this girl said it, with naked eyes, or Joel said it, naked eyes, you look at it, you will see this is a flower. And if you look at through your electron microscope, you see this bunch of atoms. You don't see it as a flower. You're getting it? So you are looking at the same object from two different perspectives. Which means you are describing the same object from two different frames of reference. One is suppose, what is the difference? Say, group A and group B. Group A looks at this flower through naked eyes. Group B looks at this flower through electron microscope. So you see this as a flower. Group B sees this as a bunch of atoms, right? Okay, so who's correct? Both are correct, because two of you, although these two are opposites, one is flower, one says no flower, it's just a bunch of atoms. Although these two are two opposite descriptions, but both are correct because we're not talking from the point of view of the one frame of reference. We're talking from the point of view of two different frames of reference. You getting it? So therefore, there's no contradiction. Now, you tell me, just give me your thoughts. What is the difference between these two frames of reference? Your naked eyes, for you, group A, you use your naked eyes as the frame of reference. And group B, you use the electron microscope as the frame of reference. Just tell me, what's the difference between these two frames of reference that we see the same object differently? Anyone? Anyone? Detail. Anyone? They can be so many ways of describing these two. The difference between these two are the frames of reference. Details. Anyone else? Gross and subtle. Distance.
Position relative to the object.
Uh,
The position that you're in relative to the object you're discussing.
the position of the.
The position of you relative to the position of the flower.
Okay, the position of the subject with respect to the flower. So they say with the naked eyes, what is the position? What the electron microscope, what is the position?
With the naked eye, it would be a meter. With these people over here, then it would be magnified. So
Okay, so with the naked eyes, it's from distance. With the electron microscope, it's in magnified version. Good. Anyone else?
If as group B, I say that I only see atoms, I'm ignorant of point A, that through naked of the other perspective. So mutually we are ignorant of other perspective.
Oh, okay. I won't say ignorant, but maybe you may say the oblivious. This may be a better word. Oblivious means that you don't take into consideration what others are seeing, you are simply talking about your perspective. Good? Anyone else? Yes.
What our eyes, I think group A sees, and what our eyes in group B sees is different.
Yes. So why this difference come to being?
Because they use different ways of seeing.
Exactly. They use two different ways of seeing. That is what we call as the two different frames of reference. Right? Actually, two different ways of looking at it. So the naked eyes, one the electron microscope, two different ways of looking at it. And say, if you can, yes, in fact, one said details, and you said the distance is different, and the two and the perspectives, two different perspectives come to being, which means that you look at things in two different ways. Okay, so both are correct. You're getting it? Okay, now which means that what this object is, it depends on how you see this. Yes? If you agree with hands. What this object is, I'm not asking how you see this object. These were different. What this object is depends on how you see this. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. How many agree with Tomer? Raise hands. What this object is depends on how you see this. Okay. Then let's say that how you see this means subject or object. Subject, right? Okay, now my question to you is, look at this flower again. Now with your naked eyes, look at this flower. You already don't forget what you said. You said that what this object is determined by how you see this. And how you see this is subject or subjective. Don't forget that. Now look at this with your naked eyes and tell me, what is this? And how does it appear to you? It appears to you from the object or from the subject? How does it appear to you? I'm not asking how does it exist. You getting it? All these questions, you must try to get the nuance. How does this object appear to you? As objective or subjective? Huh? Objective. How many you say objective? Raise hands. It appears objective. How many you say subjective? Raise hands. Okay. But what is the subjective objective? Let's say that what is in my left hand? Flower. What is in my right hand? Nothing. Okay, just imagine a blue flower. Imagine blue flower. Now tell me what is my left hand? Yellow flower. What is my right hand? What is my right hand? Raise hands. What is my right hand? Raise hands. Raise hands. The gentleman over there. Yes. Oh, it is nothing. Joel? Nothing. The gentleman over there? Yes, gentleman. What is that? Imaginary blue flower, right? He's so kind. Those who said nothing, they've been too insensitive. I said, imagine a flower, blue flower. Imaginary blue flower. You getting it? There's an imaginary blue flower. Okay, my question to you. What is the difference between these two flowers? Yellow flower in my left hand and the imaginary blue flower in my right hand. What's the difference? Raise hands? Yes. Tell me.
Blue one is subjective, the yellow one is objective.
Okay, blue one is subjective and the yellow one is objective. How many agree with your name? Okay. How many agree with Tenzi Shuila? Raise hands. The blue one, not the blue one, imaginary blue one. Imaginary blue one is subjective and the yellow flower is objective. Raise hands. You agree with Tenzi Shuila? Okay, good. So from this we learn about subjective and objective. You getting it? So this yellow flower is objectively real and the imaginary blue flower is subjective, it's not objectively real. This is what we have learned. Dream, subjective, objective. Subjective. Mirage, subjective, objective. Subjective. Rainbow, subjective, not him. right. Not all gentlemen, but the rainbow in general, which the small children like. Subjective, objective. It cannot be both. Because both they say, okay, let's ask to this is Shinla. Can there be something which is both? Objective as well as subjective? No, this is contradictory. Okay, anyone else? Rainbow, subjective, objective. Okay, raise hands who says objective. Rainbow, objective, raise hands. Okay, subjective, raise hands. Okay. So those of you who say the same, with the dream, you all agree that is subjective, except for, you said dream, mirage, objective, subjective. Subjective. Okay. So you all agree that the dream and mirage, they are subjective. But when it comes to the rainbow, then it splits into two. Some say subjective, some say objective. And they say those of you who said objective, what makes you think that is objective?
It's the reflection of the light when the rain droplets and it hits the
So it is objective or subjective? Objective. So it is the effect of the lights. Is the effect of the lights. Okay. So those who said subjective, what makes you think it is subjective? Raise hands. Yes.
Because maybe I see the light of the rainbow here, but someone is 500 meters away. The lights would not form a rainbow, so the rainbow does not happen.
Okay, this is interesting. So let's say that, okay, if the rainbow hits here, and they are seeing rainbow here, do you think the person who is sitting next to the rainbow will see rainbow? Will not see this. You're getting it? But in the opposite direction, will that person see the rainbow? No. So let's say that if it is a light, the same light is there. The same light is there, but the person next to the rainbow is not seeing that. Only from distance in a particular direction can see that. So it's subjective, right? So this is his point of view. I'm not saying I've known the position of my own. So let's say that okay, this is very important. These examples, particularly to learn about emptiness, that everything is like a dream. That when you look around, just look around you and see how things appear to you, like a dream or as not like a dream. How does it appear? How do they appear? Not like a dream. So not like a dream is known as subjective or objective. Hey, louder. Not like a dream is known as objective or subjective? Objective. Very good. So we see things as objective, real. And what the Buddha taught, what Nagarjuna taught us, is that we see things as objective, real. That is the self-grasping ignorance. Right? That's the ignorance. And now we need to revolutionize our thinking. We need to revolutionize our thinking. Undo this wrong thinking. How do we undo this wrong thinking? We should be able to see that everything is coming from your mind rather than from the object. Everything is subjective, real. Okay, this is what we should be doing. But with the other things like dream, mirage, imaginary blue flower, and so forth, you know that they are subjective, real. But what we call as tangible objects, these all we see as objectively real. Good. Okay, so our job is to how to see them as subjectively real. For that matter, the let's say that this example, the dreaming, the rainbow example. If you are say that if we are seeing rainbow, by the way, okay, there's nobody who stays in Tushita for long time. Okay, let's say that we are seeing rainbow 1 kilometer away from us. And there's a small child with you. And small child tells you that, please take me there. Right? Will you take the child there? If you take the child there, you're also a small child. You know why? You know why the child wants to be taken there and why you are not taking the child there? Why? Why the child wants to go there and why you are not wanting to take the child there? Yes?
Because the child thinks that it's real and really tangible and you know that you cannot touch it or go there.
Yes. How many of your name?
Maho.
Maho. How many you agree with Maho? Raise hands. So what Maho said, child thinks that if you go closer to the rainbow, you can play with the rainbow. Whereas the elders, they know that going closer to the rainbow, you will not see the rainbow. Right? There's nothing to play with. There's nothing there to play with. Okay. So, in a way, the child thinks that it is, whether you call it technically call it objects, subject, whatever, the child thinks that when you go there, you can actually see the rainbow. Whereas the elders know that closer you go to the rainbow disappears. You getting it? Okay. Now, on the one very important point that we need to learn is what the Joel said, ultimate, conventional. So, don't worry, I'm going to explain this to you. So what we talked about is that what Oscar said, perspective. And what Thomas said, the different way of looking at things. Right? Different way of looking at things. Different way of looking at things, and what this girl, Daisy Chandler said, and what this girl, your name?
Virginia.
Virginia or Virginia?
Virginia.
Virginia. So this Shana and Virginia, what they said is the distance. You're getting it? So there are two ways of looking at things. Things, you look at the things from distance and you look at the things more closely. You're getting it? Okay. So, of the two perspectives, from distance and from close by, of the two perspectives, which resonates more as the more closely to the reality, in a new sense. For example, let me give you an example. Let's say that we are conducting an interview for a job. somebody who they say somebody who a PR, public relation, and you are the interviewer, and what you want is you want the person for this job to be somebody who is extremely kind, gentle, accommodating, right? And whereas everybody who comes there for the interview will say that I'm very accommodating, I'm very kind, I'm very generous, right? Will say that. And then you know this person only for this 15 minutes interview. And there's another person who knows this person for the last 10 years, very closely, right? And then let's say that your friend is interviewing and knows the person only for 15 minutes. And you have to get information from these two persons. Your friend who met with this person only for 15 minutes, and other person who knows the person for 10 years. And if you are to get the information about how good this person, how competent this person is for this job, which of the two information you will take it as more reliable? 15 minutes information or the 10 years information? 10 years information. So that you see it as more ultimate information. So, from distance or from closer, who knows which of the two person knows the person more closely? 15 minutes information or the 10 years information? 10 years, that knows the person more closely. You're getting it? What we see things as more closely is referred to as you see the ultimate. And you see the object from more distance is known as conventional. You're getting it? And conventional we'll discuss, don't worry. For time, what we're saying is that the information that you get from more close by is known as the ultimate, and from more distance is known as conventional. You're getting it? So we say ultimate existence, conventional existence. Ultimate truth, conventional truth. You're getting it? Okay, so before we go any further, so let's see that from the two perspectives of this monolith, the painting with the naked eyes and through the electron microscope, which of the two you would classify as the ultimate? Microscope, electron microscope. Very good. So, what sees the object more closely? The object as seen by the mind which sees the object more closely, we call as the ultimate, the perception, and from more distance we call it conventional perception. Okay, so now we are going to learn a technical term, which is that the mind which, first listen, this is very important, and then you can ask me questions later. So mind which sees the object from close inspection, we call it ultimate analysis. The mind which sees the object from distance, we call it, mind which sees the object from close by is known as ultimate analysis. Analysis. Yes. And the mind which sees the object from distance is known as conventional analysis. Right? So these are two technical terms that we learn. So in short, what we will say is that all minds in this universe, all minds, whether your mind, somebody else's mind, your friend's mind, Buddhist mind, non-Buddhist mind, whatever, all minds should necessarily be grouped into these two categories: ultimate analysis or conventional analysis. You getting it? Okay. So this is something which we, and now same object, painting of Mona Lisa, seen by the ultimate analysis, you will see the Mona Lisa painting or not? No. If you want to enjoy the Mona Lisa painting, don't look at through ultimate analysis. Look at through conventional analysis. How many of you like cheesecake? If you like cheesecake, don't look at through ultimate analysis. You're getting it? Otherwise, you will not enjoy cheesecake. You will just see a bunch of atoms. You're getting it? If you want to enjoy cheesecake, you should use conventional analysis. You're getting it? Don't forget it. Okay. Question.
I wonder where is it more ultimate if I see atoms or if I see cells? Isn't it the same thing as if I would see a flower?
Very good question. Very good question. Your name again?
Vale.
Okay. What Vali said is extremely good question. You getting it? Let's say that let's say that I'll put it back. Let's say that we can see the same object in many different ways, not only two ways, in many different ways. Flower, right? And then you look at through microscope, you see as cells. Then you fine-tune this, you see this as chromosomes. Further fine-tune this, you see as DNA molecules. Further tune this, you see as atoms. Further, electrons, protons, neutrons. So further, we cannot go. You're getting it? Thus far, with physics. You don't have the instrument to see beyond that, for time being. So, we see that there are so many layers. It's not only two, conventional ultimate, only two. No, there are more layers. So what is the question? Which is more ultimate? Okay, this is a good question. Okay. Don't forget it. Valu.
Almost.
No, Vali. Okay. So don't forget what is the question. This is a very good question. You getting it? Okay. So who can help me? Who can help me? There are so many layers to see the flower. Okay, from distance you see as a hall. Or let's say this flower. Okay. Flower, cells, chromosomes, DNA molecules, atoms, electrons, protons. There are at least 6 layers. Which is more ultimate, this question? Right? Anybody who can help me? So what we said is that all minds should necessarily be classified into 2 groups, ultimate analysis and conventional analysis. But now it's coming more layers, not only 2, more. So how do you see, or would you say that no, there's no contradiction? They can many layers, hundreds of layers, but they all can be grouped into 2. Right? Or, no, this is contradiction. It's not 2, it's more, right? Okay, so let's say that in this group, there are only 2 kinds of people who are, let's say, the 30 and below, and 31 and above. Is it correct or not correct? But there are not only 2 people, there are many people there. There's no contradiction. All these people can be grouped into these 2 categories. Right? So likewise, all these layers which the Vali the identifies, they can all be grouped into these 2 categories, ultimate analysis or conventional analysis. But you have to explain how. Okay, so let me explain this very important question. Thank you. Okay, let's say, with respect to the flower, right? Your group looking through naked eyes, group B looks through electron microscope. With respect to the flower, I ask, what is this? Flower or non-flower? I don't ask whether it's flower or atoms, electrons, protons, neutrons, nucleus. I'm not asking. I'm asking flower or non-flower. Group A, flower, non-flower. Flower. Group B, flower, non-flower. Non-flower. Finish. 2 groups. You're getting it? All, whether you see as cells, the atoms, chromosomes, whatever, say you see it's chromosomes, right? It's chromosomes. But I'm not talking about chromosomes. I'm asking the flower, non-flower. Non-flower. You're getting it? So the point is, what are you looking for? I'm looking for flower or non-flower. So with respect to flower, either you see it's a flower or non-flower. Okay. The Vali's question is not fully resolved. It requires more analysis, which will come later. This will all fall under the category of the fine-tuning, which is known as quality control. Right? It will fall under quality control, not now. So first we have to make the skeleton. Once that is done, then the fine touch is given, then quality control comes. Right? So Vali's point, the second half of the point, which I don't know whether he the nose it comes under quality control, but it does come under quality control. Okay, that is one. Then the next is that. Okay, now look at this flower again. How do you see this? Objectively, subjectively real. How does it appear to you? Objectively real. Now, there's one verse by Arya Nagarjuna. Don't forget this. If you see me, if you are 1 kilometer away from me, or less half a kilometer away from me, and you see me in water, you are half a kilometer away from me, and you see me in water, right? Water, and you're just wondering, is he really in water, or what I'm seeing is a mirage? How do you evaluate? Say you are half a kilometer away from me, and you from distance you are seeing me in water. You are wondering whether he is really in water or what I'm seeing is a mirage. How do you evaluate? Reasons. The girl over there, your name? Shreya, yes. By going closer where? Closer towards me. From where this water appeared. Okay, how many agree with Shreya presents? Good. By coming closer. Okay. Now, you look at this flower. How does this flower appear to you? As objectively real. How do we evaluate whether it exists objectively or not? How to evaluate? You have to go closer to the object. You agree? Okay. So this is what Arya Nagarjuna taught. This technique Arya Nagarjuna taught. So Arya Nagarjuna in his text, Precious Garland, said, if the mirage were to be water, why not those close by the mirage see water? Let me repeat it. If the mirage were to be water, why not those close by the mirage see water? If the mirage were to be water, why not those close by the mirage see water? Oscar, you asking what is mirage?
No.
You asking what is mirage? Okay. So what is mirage?
Illusion.
Yes. Illusion which is seen as water. There's no water there. Okay. But how many of you have seen mirage results? How many of you have seen mirage? And how many of you have never seen mirage results? How many of you have never seen mirage? You have never seen mirage. Interesting. Okay. You've never seen. Tomer, you have never seen. Huh?
Not sure.
Not sure. Anyone else who never seen mirage? Never seen mirage. Mirage. Shrishti? You've seen. Good. Gentlemen over there, you've never seen. Okay. It's very interesting. Mirage. Say one you can see on the what is that? Tar on the road. On the road, heat. On the road you see water there, and finally you come closer, there's no water. Right? There's also a mirage. And some say that it occurs on the sand, desert. On the desert, I've never seen that in this. I've been to a desert, but then I've never seen that. The wild animals are so thirsty in the desert, and then they see the water, they run towards that, they don't get the water. So actually they are seeing the mirage. Okay, if the mirage were to be water, why not those close by the mirage see water? So like what Shia said, that if you want to know what you see is water, when you see me in the water, you want to know whether it's water or mirage, you come closer towards me. This is how you evaluate whether it's water or not. Okay. So likewise, if this flower were to be existing objectively, how should you evaluate this? That flower exists objectively or not? How do you evaluate it? By going closer towards the object. You're getting it? So now, What should go closer to the object? The mind. Because the mind wants to evaluate. What evaluates? Your mind evaluates or what? Your mind evaluates, right? So whether it is objectively real or not objectively real, who decides? Your mind or what decides? Your mind decides. So your mind should go closer to the object. And which of the two mind go closer to the object? Ultimate analysis or conventional analysis? Repeat it. Ultimate analysis. Very good. So we should subject to see this, if this flower exists objectively or not, we should subject this flower to ultimate analysis. You getting it? Subject flower to ultimate analysis. And subject flower to ultimate analysis, we see that it's just a bunch of atoms. There's no flower. The flower disappears. Okay. The flower disappears. This is extremely important thing. So from this, what we need to learn is that say group B who looks at this through electron microscope, you see this as, there's no flower, it's just a bunch of atoms, right? And how many you would be very sure that no, there's no flower, it's just a bunch of atoms, group B, when looking at through electron microscope, right? And group A will say that no, there's a flower there. There's a flower there. Right? So what Shrishti. What Shrishti said that group B is oblivious to the perspective of group A. You getting it? Say that then group B would say that, with respect to their analysis, conventional analysis, this is a flower. But with respect to our perception or our analysis, which is ultimate analysis, this is no flower. You getting it? There's no contradiction. Both are correct. Both are correct. Because the frames of reference are different. Okay. So with this in mind, for example, let's say the traffic rules, we said it, the object will not tell you which is the correct lane. Okay. And say that how many you have played the role play. Role play. One. Okay, what does it mean by role play? Srishti, tell me.
Assumed identity and acting according to the convention of that identity.
This is too technical. Very correct, absolutely correct, but too technical, right? So why I'm asking her to help us is to make everybody understand it. And those people who did not understand it, they did not understood it. Those who understood it, they understood it. Anyone else would like to explain it? Role play, yes, over there.
Playing a role of somebody else.
Playing a role of somebody else, like say there's somebody who, small children, usually is being done by the small children. So I'm the Nelson Mandela, I'm His Holiness the Dalai Lama, like this. So just imagine, do you agree with me? Oh, by the way, how many of you have never done such a thing, role play, in your life? You have never done it. Okay, how many have done it? Raise your hands. Okay, all of us. Good. So then it makes my work easy. Right? Okay. So let's say that the small children, you go with your tiffin for the school, tiffin to the school, tiffin with food and chocolates. And then now role play, right? A game. And so all the children, they say that, right? Okay, let's have a role play of the King Alexander the Great. And who's going to be King Alexander? Oscar. Oscar is going to be King Alexander, right? Oscar is going to be King Alexander. And then because now we already got the king, we need a minister, right? And particularly the tax minister is very important. Tax minister to collect tax. So then he said, Okay, so our king, Alexander, is asking for who's going to be my tax minister. Raise hands. Anyone? Tax minister? Huh? Tomar? Huh? Tom?
I offer good salary.
Who do you want your tax minister? Here. Okay, this is Joel. Okay, so Joel said yes. I'm going to be the tax minister. And Joel appointed Tomar as the junior tax minister. Right? Tomar is the junior tax minister. So now look. Now we are all our King Alexander's the subjects, right? And the King Alexander told Joel and Oscar that you have to make a kingdom strong, you have to collect the tax, right? And then Joel asked Tomar, he collect the tax, right? And then Tomar said, all the chocolates will come here. All the chocolates, the tax should come here, right? And then the rainbow, rebellious, says, no, it's my chocolate. My mother sends me. No, everybody will say you have to pay the tax, right? Rainbow, you have to submit your check. Everybody has to do chocolate. And then tomorrow what he did is that few chocolates go into his own pocket. And the remaining chocolates go to Joel. And Joel, Tomar only a small pocket, right? 2, 3 chocolates. And the Joel, right, fills it back with the chocolate. And the remaining he given to our King Alexander. You're getting it? Right? Okay. Then, so we are all small children, age 4, 5, 6, age 4, 5, 6, we're all small children. And then Oscar's mother comes. Hey, Oscar. So come home, right? And then everybody else will say, how dare you have no respect to a king, right? So the mother knows that this is small children's game. This is not real. He's my son. He is not a king, right? But if the mother wants to come inside the game, she has to respect the rule. Your Highness King Alexander, right? And then Oscar will say, yes, what do you want? Is there anything I can do for you? May I have a word with you for a few minutes? And then secretly, then she may tell you have to come now, right? So, if the mother does not want to treat your son as a king, she shall not go into the game. She should stay out. You getting it? If she wants to get into the game, she has to follow the rules. Respect Your Highness King Alexander. Whereas if he doesn't want to call your son King Alexander, stay out of the game. Don't come into the game. You getting it? Okay. Now with this, and if somebody does not respect the king, like how the mother did, then all others will become very angry. Particularly our Oscar, our King Alexander, who is extremely healing in his voice, very healing. You would love the king so much. And anybody who's being disrespectful, you become so emotional. Yes? Children, they literally become emotional. Okay. So look, this is how the world is operating. How the world is operating. And how many of you become emotional with things, Resens? Emotional with your day-to-day life things, right? And let's say, particularly in those days, the George Bush, right? With George Bush, oh, we don't want to put him in the president. No, he's too bad. Some say, no, he's very good. Trump, very good. Trump, not good. Trump become so emotional, fighting. Then riots. And what is that? Capitol, what happened? The mobbing. Mobs, right? Entering the Capitol Hill. Everyone's so emotional. They're all like small children in the game. You're getting it? And what is that? Trump was the naughty boy, not our Oscar. Right? Naughty boy as the president. You're getting it? And like his son is the Dalai Lama, no, this is small children's game, this is like the mother. And if he is to go into the game, he has to respect Mr. President. But deep inside, he knows that this is not the right president. He knows that. You're getting it? So, say if a son doesn't want to treat this small children's game, then he has to stay away from the game. But he will not stay away from the game, he will enter the game to help these small children to this is not a real thing. You're getting it? This is game. So, small children, they become so emotional. When the mother says, hey, Oscar, come, you become so emotional and so angry. How dare you don't respect our game? So this is exactly what is happening, how the world is operating. All of us, we have been carried away with emotions. They are like small children. And the Buddhas, they are the ones, like the mother who knows that this is a game of the small children. The Buddhas are the ones who are freed from this, that, and then we are trapped in this game. We become emotional, we become so angry if somebody disrespects your king. You become so angry. So we are trapped in this game. And at the end of the day, after 1 hour, game is over. You're getting it? And Oscar, no more king. Right? And then the Joel and Trevor, right, they cannot take any more of the chocolates. So the point is that that we see that these are the small children's game. So why and then somebody like, or let's say, who else? Carl sees that, okay, being the minister, there's a plus points, right? Right, you can get the chocolates. Carl says, I'm also the tax minister. Then everybody says, you are not, you are fraud, you are not. You're getting it, you are not. So everybody said it, and do you agree with others or not? That he's not the tax minister? Yes, no? Yes. Where is the Joel, tax minister? Yes. So there's agreement there. There's a proper functionality happening. And with this, we are all trapped in this game. You become emotional, and if somebody disrespects this rule, you are in a problem. So we are trapped in this. And what trapped us in this game? The convention. Who created the convention? All the small children. You trap the convention, you create the convention, and you are trapped at the convention. So all the sentient beings, we create the conventions, and we are trapped at the conventions, and we suffer. Right? So who are the Buddhas? Who are the Buddhas? Buddhas are those beings who are freed from the conventions. And who are those people who are freed from the convention? Who knows the conventions as conventions? Who are those people who are freed from that nightmare? Who knows the dream as dream? You're getting it? Who sees the dream as real? They are trapped in the dream. Who sees the dream as dream? They are freed from the dream. Yes, over there.
I have one maybe a little bit provocative question.
Yes.
And it is, if this is about breaking down conventions, and Buddhahood is also about breaking down conventions, why is there conventions in this practice, in the Dharma, in Buddhism?
Okay. So, let's say that Gade, Parasan. Why the first Gade, not the second Gade? These are all conventions. You getting it? Okay. So, that when you are in the process of waking up, are you in the dream? You are in the process of getting out of the dream. You are in the process of getting out of the dream. Does it happen when you are in the dream or outside the dream? Inside the dream. You're getting it? So, getting out of the dream, trying to get out of the dream is within the dream. If it's you already out, why should you try? You're getting it? So, this system of Buddhism, this part of Buddhism, this is not like, okay, you're in Buddhism, now you're out of the dream. No. Buddhism means, I am trying to get out of the dream. You're getting it? So then, yes, come. So this is Gate, Paragate. This is the putting effort to get out of the dream. Effort to getting out of the dream is happening within the dream, not outside the dream. This is also convention. Good? Okay. Any more questions? Wow. You thoroughly understood this. Okay, Shriya.
The concept that you explained about ultimate and conventional
Analysis.
how do you, so we talked about tangible things, right, like flower or something. How does that apply to emotions or relationships?
Oh, very good question. Okay, so to talk about the ultimate analysis, conventional analysis with respect to the physical objects is okay, but this analysis may not be applicable only to the tangible objects, right? Finally, we try to get away from the dream, get away from the entanglements, not only of the tangible objects, but also the emotions. That is more complicated. So how do we apply these to the emotional world? Like agitation, sadness, like the betrayal with the relationships, betrayal, cheating, very complicated. So how to get away from this with respect to these analyses? How to apply this? Okay, this is a serious question. Thank you. Anybody who wants to help me? Anyone? No one? Yes. Srishti. Yes.
If we talk in perspective of marriage, marriage is ultimately an emotional contract. The certificate that you sign or the ceremony that you do, they are not binding you to stay together. The emotional contract that you make with the other person, the commitment part, is what is keeping the marriage together. And if you cheat, you are breaking that promise or contract. So it's emotional and on the level of emotional ultimately.
Okay, Shri is smart. She's looking at me and talking. She's not looking at Shriya and talking, right? Because whether she agrees or not agrees, she doesn't know, right? So Shriya, are you happy or not happy? Okay. Anyone else? Anyone else? Okay, yes.
Maybe through patience, through disconnecting from the emotion, through stepping back from it, maybe seeing first the emotional convention like from far, to be able to then see more closely for what it really is. So through patience and meditation, I would say.
No, how do you see the emotion from distance and from close by? How?
From distance, I would say by being disconnected from the emotion. If we're still in the state of emotion and things are moving, it's not possible to watch it.
So
first conventional analysis.
First, stay away, keep distance. So that is the metaphor for the conventional analysis. Then, once the mind cools down, then go closer. Go closer towards the emotion. How do you go closer to the emotion?
By watching.
Watching the emotion.
And reflecting.
But you cannot see the emotion of a person like this. Emotion of other person, right? Other person, your own emotion. Shreya? Any emotion.
Your own emotion.
Your own emotion? Yes. So how do you see your emotion?
Through
just reflecting. So you see that your anger is there, you see the anger. What should you do now?
By patience, nothing.
Or by patience, then the anger continues. So let's say time for I don't want time. Keep seeing the time. Be patient. Right? Then time stops. No, time doesn't stop. Continues. Right? Even if you're patient, still the time continues. In what way the patience will help you to stop your emotions? In what way the patience will help you to stop the emotions?
Because the emotion is impermanent. So
even the time is also impermanent.
Yeah.
Impermanent, there are two kinds. One whose continuum never stops. Well, simply because it's impermanent doesn't mean it will stop.
But the emotion eventually stops.
No. Emotion is something. Destructive emotions, particularly self-grasping, ignorance, attachment, and so forth, they are something which will never stop unless we put a concerted effort. Simply by watching it will not stop on its own.
Like, do you have an example? Emotion
like anger. No, we just keep observing it, Temporary anger may subside, again the next day anger will arise. It'll never stop. Okay, lady over there.
Get to the root of the problem.
Get to the root of the problem. What is that root of the problem? Seeing the emotions as objectively real, self-grasping ignorance of the emotions. Very good. Now how to destroy that? How to not destroy, how to counteract this self-grasping with respect to the emotion, seeing the emotion object real. How do you counteract this? This is a very good point. What's your name? Georgia. Okay, Georgia, thank you. I would say that the answer to Shreya's question is what your name? Jimmy. What Jimmy said is like, preparing us to get there. George's answer is grabbing at the core, right? So how? Still not fully answered. That we need to work on. It is to see the dreamlike nature of the emotions. To see the dreamlike nature of the emotions. We see emotions so objectively real, right? Objectively real. That's the problem. So when you see the dreamlike nature of the emotions, it is such a liberating factor. How to see things as dreamlike nature of the emotions. That is Shreya's job. You have to remind us, right? Okay, if I leave this retreat without doing this, I'm not responsible. Shreya is responsible. You're getting it? She should remind us. Okay, so we'll stop here. Okay, dedication prayers. Page 52. Page 52. I dedicate the merit thus gathered towards the realization that is in the prayers of the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas of 3 times, and to the upholding of the doctrine of scripture and insight. May in all life, through the force of this merit, never separate from the 4 wheels of the Mahayana vehicle, and accomplish all the stages of the Papa, renunciation, bodhicitta, perfect within the 2 stages. From my 2 collections, vast space that I've amassed, from working with effort in this practice for a great length of time, may I become the shield-leading Buddha for all those whose minds wisdom eyes plan to break ignorance. It is from Lisa. Thank you. Any more sweets?
Yes.
Thank you. Yes, NMC, Nana Master's course, at 6 o'clock at the class in my place.
Yes.